So let's talk about healing the masculine, or what are these steps to the evolution of the masculine within ourselves, within our worlds, within the collective, right? Like, what are these steps? And first, it's just this opening our eyes and being so okay to see the state that things are in. Like, that's the first step. Just, I'm so okay to see the state that things are in. This is essential. It's step one. We have to be okay. And we're going to see, so most people will never even get to this step in this lifetime. We'll never get to this step because it's so fucking painful. It's so painful to see that the whole family system was run this way, that nearly every company is run this way, that the way that you make decisions is mostly this way, that so much of your life is this way. It's crazy intense. There was a line that was happening in the ReWilding team when we started really moving into this, holding space for this masculine evolution and bringing consciousness to it and love to it. Like love, fucking love. And I want to talk about that too, how bringing love will change. We'll go through these steps. So we'll go through a couple of different steps on masculine evolution. But what came about when it was really bringing consciousness. So this step one, bringing consciousness to just the state of what is, just being open-minded, like, let me see. Let me not just see it in politics. That's fucking easy. It's fucking easy. Let me not just see it in leaders, political leaders, right? Like, let me not just see it in true and proper old boys clubs. Like, let me see it closer to home. Because that's where we're going to make a change, right? I ain't going to go change the old boys club, right? Like, I could walk in to that golf club with all the dudes and be like, all right, boys, let's fucking do some rewilding. And they would be like, oh, hell no. Like, we are so steeped in our power structures and what defines us as who we think we are. Like, I have no fucking chance, right? I mean, I'm up for it. Right? If someone's got a golf club you want to invite me to go do some rewilding for the masculine, I'm in, right? I mean, I will light a fire and blow some shit up, and we will like open some crazy doors and hopefully blow their minds, right? And totally fuck up ego structures to really open up to something more soulful and more heartfelt and less false and more true. I'm in. But my sense is that our doorway to this is going to be each of us individually, those who are ready, because those over there can't even hear it. They got no time for it. Like, oh, you crazy fucking witch. You crazy fucking witch talking about evolution, la, 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 right? So it's up to us. It's up to us, those who are ready. And we're only ready when we're ready. So here's the thing that the team was sharing in this step one. We're still in step one, I know. We're taking our sweet time moving through this. So step one is bringing consciousness and allowing it to be seen closer to home. Get to the point where you can see it in yourself. It's hard. It's hard. It's really hard. But get to the point where you can see it in yourself, right? That's power in that. When we start shifting that, that's when we can gift our children. We can gift the generations to come. We can gift our lovers. We can gift our families. We can literally make the ripple effect change right around us. Right around us. So the team, we start bringing this in weeks ago. I mean, this has been happening for a long time now. And I've worked in these territories before, just not with this much laser focus and this much love and this much conscious, like, just, this is different. This is different. But one of the things shared in the team when bringing this much consciousness and love and awareness to the masculine evolution was, this is more death than I consider normal. And you can imagine, if you've been in rewilding or hanging out with me, there's a lot of death. It's a lot of death for rebirth. In transformation, it's death for rebirth, right? And that's just, it's a beautiful way of feeling into it, of like death. What's shedding? What am I releasing? What am I letting go of? In order to open up to something new or awaken to something new. Death. This is more death than I consider normal. That's such great words around what this masculine evolution will feel like for many of us. This is more death than I consider normal, because it's so associated with ego. It's so associated with our value in the world. It's so associated with who we are and how we identify. It's so much ego death. It is so much ego death. So much ego death, right? This is more death than I consider normal. And you can imagine the ReWilding team has a pretty high capacity for a lot of death. But to hear that was just so perfect and so beautiful. And so I kind of want to share that in step one. So one is bringing consciousness to it. Let me feel for the second step. Two is forgiveness. It's really digging deep, saying prayers, calling in grace when we have a hard time doing it, finding forgiveness. You know, maybe it's the Hawaiian Ho'oponopono prayer, and maybe someone in the chat can post those words to that prayer. But it's finding forgiveness. It's and it's forgiving both the masculine outside of ourselves and the masculine within. But it's finding how to forgive. I forgive you. I forgive you, Dad. I forgive you, brother. I forgive you, little boys in the neighborhood that I grew up with, right? I forgive you, masculine in my mom, which was very wounded, right? Very wounded. I forgive masculine in myself. I forgive, finding forgiveness, or at least compassion, compassion, right? This is hard. It's hard. It's hard. What happens when we find this forgiveness and we find this compassion? Let me just feel for a second. I want to get these words right. Oh my God, they're so important to get right. We unhook the hooks, like the hooks unhook. It's like a literal freeing. It's a freeing. And until we can find the freeing, the liberating from it, until we can figure out how to unhook the hooks, hold on a second. In the forgiving, we set the things free. And until we can set them free, we will keep calling them in. We will keep creating them. We will keep expecting, here's the fucked up part, we will keep expecting it to happen. We will keep expecting the date to go bad. We will keep expecting our partner in their masculine to do da-da-da. We will keep expecting that the next job we take will be extremely old boys club. We will keep expecting it. And it's that expectation that's also calling it in. The expectation calls it in, right? The assuming that it's going to be that way, assuming that it's that way everywhere. I was talking to a woman the other day and she just went into investing in the city, a big city in the States, and it's investing in a very old school patriarchal way, right? Very old. She's like, this is so fucking disgusting. This is so disgusting. This is so disgusting. I don't know how to do it any differently though. So I'm just doing it. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. Like I'm doing it their way. I don't know how to do it any differently. I'm literally dying inside because she's very aware. I'm dying inside. This is soul sucking. This is why like many of our jobs feel soul crushing. Soul is feminine. Soul is feminine. And when we get in these real patriarchal, old school, not honoring of soul, right? It's soul sucking, right? So finding this forgiveness, finding this compassion, which allows us to come to a place of not assuming it's everywhere, not expecting it to be everywhere. Therefore, we are not creating it. We are not calling it in. We are not being party to it staying, right? Okay. I love this. We're starting to get to the good stuff. By the way, let me just pause for a quick second as we go further into these steps. We are finally doing the free ReWilding experience challenge that we've been talking about all stinking year. All year, we've been saying, oh, we're going to do a big free event. right? We do them every year, all year. Like it's coming, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. It's here. And we're going into this territory. We're going right into this territory. We're going into the mysteries around the sacred masculine. We're going into the mysteries around the union. I don't know what's coming. I can't share or tell you exactly what's coming. I know that we're walking deep into this territory, though. We are walking into the mysteries. We're going to just open some doors and do some, I don't know what we're going to do. But this is taking a level of preparation that I have not experienced in order to hold one of these big rewilding challenges. Like we have in the past. So you're all welcome to join us. You're all invited to come and journey with us. One of the team, maybe Malia or Karen, I think you're both on with the link. If you guys could drop the link somewhere there, Malia. There's a reason why it's taken so long to bring this through. Let's pioneer together. That's Malia's words, and that's so it. She's right on this energy too, and holding this space very, very deeply, like right beside me as we kind of walk into this territory. I'll talk a little bit more about the challenge at the end, or this rewilding experience. It's 4 days. It's open to anyone, and it's just kind of our service to the world. We love doing these challenges. They take a lot, but we love them, and it's an essential for us. It's an essential to do big, beautiful, free work out in the world when we're called to, and we finally are there. So you're so welcome to join us, and it would be beautiful to journey through that with you. Okay, so step 2 is that forgiveness. Yeah, now we're starting to get that excited feeling again. This is gonna suck for some. For some, you're gonna be like, oh, this is so good. But for some, depending on where you're at right now, right? Just depending on even how you are this day, not even necessarily on the fullness of your like journey with the masculine and the feminine, or your journey with awakening, and your journey with healing, right? Or your journey with growth, but just today, how you're feeling could really bring up a little spikes or the hair on the back of your neck. But coming into 3, you ready? Is we move from step 2, which is like the forgiveness and the compassion, and step 3, we move into the worship. How's that feel? The worshiping of the masculine. Dun, dun, dun. Who's pissed? Who wants to jump through their screen and choke me? It's totally cool. If someone would have told me that 5 years ago, I would have jumped through the screen and choked myself, right? It's really coming to this place of deep devotion, deep reverence, deep worshiping of the masculine. Worshiping. Not worshiping toxic, shitty, low-level masculine. Worshiping the sacred, divine masculine. Worshiping these heights of the masculine. But really coming to a place of authentic devotion, authentic reverence, like fucking reverence. And you have to know what the sacred masculine is in order to do it. Because for most of us, we still associate sacred masculine with wounded, toxic, shitty masculine, right? We even associate like God with shitty masculine, right? But it's really and truly being touched by the sacred masculine, being gifted by the sacred masculine. And until you know, sense, touch into what the sacred masculine actually is, you will never find worship. You will never be able to find devotion. You will never be able to find reverence. So it's doing whatever you're called to touch into what the sacred masculine actually fucking is, because it is a glorious force. It is rare to see in this world, but when you touch into it, oh, you will never be the same. You will never fucking be the same. Teresa of Avila talks about the Christ light. That was touching into the sacred masculine, right? Like this ecstasy that I cannot fucking explain. It is now my life's devotion. I am devoted to that because there is nothing like that amount of love and light and grace ever that I've touched into. That's sacred masculine. So step 3, figure out what the fuck the sacred masculine actually is. Because once you are actually touched by the sacred masculine, you don't have to work to find reverence or worship or devotion, right? But it's the knowing it in your bodies. It's the knowing what it is, right? It's the knowing. And then what happens is you literally, from the knowing of what it is, and this can go all the way back to the beginning of what our conversation was, is what are we craving? What are we craving in the masculine, right? We're craving this. We just don't know it. We just don't know it because we haven't seen it, we haven't sensed it, we haven't touched into it, we haven't seen people express it or embody it or bring it into the world, right? Maybe we've seen it in spiritual expressions that are so far outside of ourselves, which is okay. Sometimes that's how the experiences are of the sacred masculine, but there is right now an opportunity to embody sacred masculine and bring it into this fucking world. So it's not just climb up on a mountain, meditate into the infinite all of nothingness, and that's the only time I get to be sacred masculine. No. It's different. Times are fucking changing. There is a union happening. And in the union between the masculine and the feminine is this calling him down. The myth of Parvati and Shiva, right? She calls him in. The feminine has done her rising, right, has done enough of the reclamation collectively to now be dancing the tantrika dance of calling Shiva in. That's where we're at. Do you know that? Collectively, that's where we're at. So he doesn't have to stay high in the sky, unembodied. We're past that. That was a part of humanity. That was a part of where we were consciously on our evolutionary path. But now we have done enough of the feminine reclamation to call him in. That's what Parvati does. Parvati, look up the myth. I'm not going to go super far into that, but she calls him in. It's what Shakti does. It's the gift of the feminine, right? She calls him in with her radiance, with her feminine, with her fullness, with her allness, with this much life force being this awake on the planet, right? It's now finally past the tipping point of this awake, and we can literally, and this is what we're being asked to do. This is what this challenge will be about. So good luck to us all who are doing it, right? I mean, this is going to be intense, but it's calling him in. Like, we're here. And the feminine is now here, and we're going to call you in. We're going to call you out of the void, out of nothingness, and we're fucking calling you in to embodiment. We are calling you in to life, into this world. That's what's on offer. That's it. And so let me bring this down to like mundane, tangible shit. So it's not like, oh God, Sabrina, like this sounds great. From a spiritual standpoint, would love it. On a more mundane, physical level, in our lives, in this devotion, worship step, right? You will literally watch yourself when you develop this capacity, which hopefully we'll get to this in the challenge, to us all have the capacity to do this. We will be able to inspire the divine masculine in others. In ourselves, for sure. In ourselves, for sure. In the people we work with. I think I blew up the internet. Okay, just need to hear if we're still live, if y'all can see and hear me. You're back. Lindsay says you're back. I don't know. The Wi-Fi is normally really good here. No idea. There we go. That was like, boom, we've hit it. And we're at it. Wow. I'm just pausing for a moment. I'm not frozen. We still have Wi-Fi. I'm just feeling my heart. And the emotion that when I feel into Parvati, let's just feel into that, or this aspect of Shakti, or this aspect of kind of where the feminine is at, right? And I like sink into my heart and I feel into that space, and it's just like, it's just love. It's longing. It's longing. It's like this incredibly deep calling. It's like deep calling. And it's not outside of myself. Yeah, it's outside of myself, but it's also in myself. It's in the world, right? It's not, I need a human being to show up and be the masculine for me. It's way beyond that. Can we unite? Like, can we unite, like, right here? Can we find each other? Can we just find each other? It's right here, like, it's right here. And what can I do? What can I do to call you in? What can I do? How can I stop denying you? How can I stop pushing you away? How can I stop fearing you? How can I receive you? Right? How can I like prepare the ground? How can I do that? Like, what can I do? Like, this is how it feels to me. And I will do whatever it is, because I can feel the possibility of this union. I can feel the potential that resides in this. Like, I can feel, like, it feels like this nuclear bomb goes off, like this nuclear bomb of grace and love and goodness goes off when I feel into this union that takes place in my heart and in my body and in the energetics around me. And it is something that I cannot fathom what this would do in our world. I cannot fathom the changes that this would make, right? I think we should do this challenge. Oh my goodness. Oh. Yeah. I think we should do this thing. I think we should see what happens. I think we should journey through this. And maybe just let this be the springboard and the starting point for this challenge. But I don't even want to call it a challenge, this journey. These 3 workshops, I mean, they're good and proper rewilding workshops. Then we'll do a Q&A at the end to talk about what the heck happened during the challenge. It's really beautiful to be shown a little bit of what's coming in this challenge. Because I didn't know. Malia just left the link again. Yeah. I don't think I'm going to take questions today. Yeah, it doesn't feel like the space to take questions. I think what I'd love to do is invite you all over to the Facebook group to share anything you want to share. If there are images or articles or things on Parvati or Shiva or the union or just your experiences or words that came to you during this live, let's keep talking. Let's just share. So I invite you to, one, if it feels right for you, don't do it if it doesn't feel right for you, but to sign up for the challenge if it feels right for you. And to two, come over to the Facebook group and we can continue the conversation over there. So I really invite the support team to maybe open up some threads where we can connect and communicate and share over there. And then I just invite all of you to submit like artwork and imagery and words and articles and whatever around this conversation and kind of what's unfolding for you or what came through for you. Wow. Kind of blown open and really feeling this moment in time and really feeling into the potential and the call, the call. Yeah. All right. Wow. I will see you all when I see you, where I see you, and how I see you. Thank you all for being here and co-creating this space. I love you all so much.